So in today's video we're going to be changing the front tires from bushings to bearings. I think it's going to be a two-part video because kind of running out of daylight here. And in a previous video I have this toe out problem on my tires that I can't seem to fix. I bought new steering links, and still hasn't fixed it. I think it's the bushing in the front axle that's worn out and tilting it forward. I have them coming soon. But another problem I'm running into with the new steering links is that when the axle's down on one side, it hits the pulley. When the axle's in the middle or up, it doesn't. But when the axle's below center, it hits the pulley. They had these plastic things in a kit that I didn't put on, but I'm wondering if I should. I believe they go on they go over and attach where the steering plate is, and I think what it does is it holds, I don't know if you can see that, but it holds the link from leaning. It's only when it drops that it hits, and I think it holds it more up and down so that it doesn't hit the pulley. I might have to put those on, but it's really hot out and we were getting lots of rain and the grass was growing like crazy. I was having to mow it. Well, normally I mow our lawn like once every 2 weeks and it barely grows. But I was having to mow it once a week and it was growing pretty good. But I think for the most part the rain has stopped, but the heat remains and the lawn isn't growing all that good now. So this is a good time to do some stuff. So anyway, to change the let's get to changing from bushings to bearings on the front wheels. I know this is pretty low, there's not much I can do about that. Not a very good angle. The new kit comes with the outer plastic grease guards and 2 washers and 2 bearings and a clip and the C-clip to hold the wheel together for each wheel. So I am just going to take some pliers to these and gently take them off. It's always good to have extras. But they're 12 years old, so they aren't coming off exactly easy. Plus they're full of grease. As easy as I thought it was going to be. You don't want to grab. the rear ones, there's a little bit of something to grab at the end, but these ones, there's not much extra to grab. And they're on tight. Ever on there. There we go. I kept them well lubricated, the axles. I'm gonna put my gloves on for this one. Gonna be a lot of grease. Normally you just need a flathead screwdriver, but of course I don't have one out here. I got this little I don't know what you call it. Pry bar, crowbar, nail puller outer. Not quite sure. Find the so much grease I can't even see where the C-clip is. Oh, okay. Not going to reuse them since the new ones come in the package, but depending on the tightness of the wheel, I might use some of the washers, but I'm not going to reuse a C-clip. But it's always nice to have an extra one. Two washers on the outside of that one. It's hard to pick this stuff up with these gloves on, but kind of interested to see what the bushings in the axle look like. Yeah, I don't see any scoring on the axle. And the amount of grease I put on these things and kept them greased, I don't imagine there'll be much wear in the bushings either, but I just figure it would be smoother with the bearings. So there's on this particular one, I've had the front wheels off once before, I think. I'm pretty sure I put it back together the way they came. I had a small washer on the inside and two big washers on the outside. I guess the small washer on the inside was to fit inside there. Although you'd think it would have a big washer on the outside to prevent it from going in there. I don't know. Clean the grease off there good so I can get a good look at the axle. It felt pretty smooth, but you never know. Even if it wasn't smooth, I probably wouldn't replace it. Little tiny bit of marks, but looks like just the paint was rubbed off of it. Nothing major. Clean all the grass out of here. Grease is a good thing, but man, does it ever make a mess. So there we have the bushings. And I don't know how well you can see in there, but I don't see anywhere. They look smooth as all get up. There's like no play at all. They probably don't even, they're probably perfect, but we'll take them off anyway. maybe the advantage to bearings is that it'll roll better. Easier. Less horsepower to drive the tractor and save some horsepower for the implements. I just hope I don't totally ruin it and then the bearings don't fit. I don't like taking apart things that aren't broken or fixing what's not broken, because I gotta pound these out of here. Don't imagine the vice grips will pull them out. I'll give it a shot anyway. That's not gonna happen. Just gonna pause the video so that I can find something to punch. Pause it so I can find something to punch them out with. So I already punched one out. They're in there good. I had to really come on to it. I didn't think it would be that hard, but yeah. I was hitting it. I had to hit it so hard I was kind of worried that I was breaking something. Doesn't look like I even damaged it. And they look like they're in amazing shape. I don't see any wear whatsoever. You can see the little indentation where the grease zerk goes. Yeah, they're in really good shape. I couldn't even imagine how many kilometers are on them. But they're definitely not wore out like I see other people's bushings. Obviously, they don't grease them. Because they look like brand new. They're pretty heavy too for the size of them. some websites say it's the same bushing that's in the front axle. I know my front axle's a little loose. It flops back and forth like this. But the amount of movement that would be in the front axle compared to a wheel axle is like nothing. So if this is what's in the front axle, then how, you'd wonder how it could wear out. But I see some front axles have a grease zerk on them for these bushings in the front axle, but in the pivot point in the middle in the front axle, I do not believe this machine does. I haven't really gotten down there and had a good look, but the manual, there's nothing about a grease fitting there. But yeah, there's not even wear on this. It's perfectly smooth. The only damage is where I had the bolt to pound them out. 4 corners. So we'll definitely keep those. Now, get this other one out. Definitely lots of grease in there. They're most definitely in there. This one's actually harder than the other one. And I'm going through a ton of paper towel here. This one's absolutely loaded with grease. Of course, I probably pushed it all into it. I was trying to clean out the middle. This one would have been the inside bearing or bushing. Oh, and she's perfectly smooth on the inside and plenty of there's like no up and down play whatsoever. And this tractor is a 2009. So it is 14 years old. And it's got approximately 320 hours on it. Not many hours for the age of it, but like I said, most summers I don't start mowing till May, end of May, and I'm done by October. And I usually only mow it twice a month. And I use it for the winter too, but I probably only use it 6 or 7 times during the winter. And I pull an aerator around in the spring and the fall. But other than that, and I got about an acre of lawn to mow. So we don't use it all that much. The grease kept everything in pristine condition, but it's quite the cleanup. The inside of the tire looks pristine as well, and of course it would have to be because the inside of the rim isn't what touches anything, because the bearings or the bushings are solid in there. It's the bushings that get the wear on the axle. So everything looks perfect. I will pause this and get the kit out and see if everything fits. Well, we'll see if everything fits together. Just a little side note, I wish the steering was different on these tractors. I don't, there's too many links, too much slop. I wish that long arm right from the steering plate would come right to here. Instead it goes over to here, and then this triangle piece rotates, which rotates this arm. So much slop. If it just had a direct connection, one connection, it'd be a lot better. I know a lot of the tractors nowadays, even previous years, were like that. For some reason they didn't. I'm kind of wondering if I could get rid of this and just connect this arm right to here. don't think I can because I think that would get in the way, plus maybe the angle of this would get in the way. Something I might try sometime. But anyway, back to the so it came in this bag. His bearing conversion kit replaces Craftsman Sears Husqvarna 9040. And I believe 9040 is the part number for those bushings. The OEM part number for those bushings. So in kit you get the 2 new covers, which are really pliable compared to those 14-year-old ones that barely move. You get 2 big washers and 4 smaller washers. Mine stock came with 2 big washers and 1 small washer. And the 2 C-clips. And 2 boxes of bearings. Should be 2 for each wheel. 1 inner, 1 outer. And he even got lips on the bearings so they don't fall into the wheel. That's really really quite impressive. And they're tight, and I can hear the grease inside when I spin it. No number on them. All it says is on the outer race is HD switch. I'm guessing they're doesn't matter which way you put them in. Ooh. I'm guessing they're the exact same thing. I can hear lots of grease in that one too. And they are precisely the exact same. So, let's see how well they fit on here. Oh, they're tight. Oh, they don't slide on there very easily. Oh. That's going to be a tight fit to get those on. You'd think this axle would have wore a bit, but nope. See how tight of a fit they are into the wheel. Well, the wheel's going to be on there tight. Tight on here, tight in the wheel. Just going to pause it and find a socket big enough to fit around so I can give her a little hammer home. Actually, I think I'm going to use this piece of wood. Yeah, that makes more sense. Try that. I know you're at the bottom corner of the video, but my stand is too high. In there like a glove. Very nice. Wondering if that grease, if you'll be able to put some grease in there. Oh yeah, the grease fitting is pretty far in there, so not that you need it because they're sealed bearings, but I've heard stories that the mandrels on the deck have grease fittings and sealed bearings inside. Some of them have sealed bearings, and some people say it's useless to grease them because they have sealed bearings, and some people say if you put enough grease, it'll go right through the seals, the pressure. I don't know if you want to put that much grease that it goes through the seals, because you're just putting too much pressure, I would think. It's like overfilling your car with oil. That's my train of thought, but I could be wrong. I'm not a mechanic. Any comments? Put in the comments what you think about greasing sealed bearings. Putting enough grease and pressure in to make the grease go past the seals into the bearing, or is it just a waste of time, or are you putting too much pressure and actually ruining the bearing? Of course, if the inside doesn't have a seal on it, then I could totally understand greasing that. That makes total sense. But it's sealed bearings. Should you be greasing mandrels and axles if you have sealed bearings already? I'm not gonna overfill it, but I'll definitely put some grease in there. But I'm not gonna pump it so hard that the grease comes right through the bearing into the outside. I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I should, but I'm not going to. Oh, This one actually went down almost all the way, just pushing on it. And I know I should probably get a socket and put it on the outer portion of the bearing, because the inner portion's raised on these a little bit. I'm guessing that's to keep the washers in check. You'd think it would be flush, but it's not. But I'm not putting that much pressure on it to ruin the bearing. So the bearings on either end are in. Now the dilemma of how many washers I should put on the inside and how many I should put on the outside. Like I said, it had one small washer on the inside and two on the outside. The fitment of the bearings and the bushings are not the same. There's a lot more of a lip on that than what's on the bearings. Probably about half. So I think I'm going to put both of the small ones on the inside, where stock it only comes with one. Wait a minute. What happened to the other C-clip? Oh, it's still in the bag. Oops. So there's 3 washers on each axle. 1 small, 2 big. This kit only provides enough washers for 3 as well, but it's got 2 small and 1 big. So I'm going to put the 2 small ones on. And then I think I'm going to put 2 big ones. One from the kit and one that I already have. And see if I can get the C-clip on that. And if I have to add another big washer to tighten it up, then we will do that. But first, we'll put the small ones on. And we'll put the wheel on, which might be difficult. Yeah. That's gonna be difficult. That is one tight fit. Oh, it rolls super nicely. once you get past the lip, it goes on. There must be a tiny little, well, the axle part before the clips and the C-clip and the washers. It's a little thicker than the axle where the bushings were. I guess it did wear out a little bit, because once you get past there, it goes on really easily. Well, not really easily, but a lot easier. So there was a little bit of wear, but not much. Yeah. Now that I'm at the end of the axle, it won't go on anymore. Yeah, I know that's not professional how you do it. Pause this and grab a socket. Well, that's a pretty big socket, and I just happen to have a 27 millimeter. I believe I had to purchase this for a Honda four-wheeler to take the swing arm off. I believe that's why I bought this, or it could have been maybe a control arm on a car. It's a pretty big socket, but it fits perfectly on the outer brace. And there we have it. It is on. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how many put the washer on. Well, it fits with one, that's for sure. This one looks like it's in the best shape out of the two that came off of it. Let's see if the C-clip will go over that. I do not believe it is going to. Nope. Looks like they gave you the right amount of washers. There's a little bit of slop in there. A little bit of room, but not enough room to put another washer. So they were perfect in their washer amount of washers they give you. Just they gave them to you opposite of what was OE. But maybe it's better to have two on the inside. And And no, I don't have the proper tools to put these things on. And they are a little bit thicker than normal one. There's grease still everywhere. Not having much luck. They're just a little too stiff to get on there by hand. There we go. Oh, didn't even have it in there all the way, but now I do. Little tiny bit of play, but not that much. Covers fit on there very nicely. Don't know where all this excess grease is coming from. Testament to how long or how little I use this. These are still the original tires, and as you can see, they still got quite a bit of tread. Looks like the rim isn't perfectly straight. Or the tire isn't. It's pretty close. Got a little wobble to it, but that's okay. I'm not going 100 kilometers an hour. So there you have it. I won't film the other side because it's the exact same, only on the different side. But it seems to be a nice upgrade. Don't know how the results will be in the real world, because like I said, those bushings look perfect to me. Obviously there was a tiny bit of wear on the axle, because once I got past the outer lip, the tire went on easier. Of course, they could make them that way too. They could have a little bit of a lip on the outside from the factory. I'm not quite certain. So at most there's a tiny little bit of wear if you keep them greased. I've seen on YouTube videos where the bushings were completely gone and the tractors were like a third of the age of this one. Mind you, I don't know how hard they were worked. They could have 1,000 hours on them. But I was pretty religious in greasing this. I probably greased it. Well, I greased it in the spring and the fall. And that's when I changed the oil in it. And if you watch previous videos, you'll see how that worked out. Briggs & Stratton, blown up engine, full of oil, synthetic oil. The piston rod broke in it, which I'm hearing is a normal thing after a while, a certain amount of hours, the fatigue. But yeah, hopefully this engine will. I didn't use synthetic from the get-go in the other one. I just switched over to synthetic probably 6 years ago. But this engine has had synthetic since the beginning. I read nothing about using conventional oil in a Briggs & Stratton for the first oil change, so it's had synthetic since the get-go. But there it is, switching from bushings to bearings. Hope you enjoyed, and hope if that's something you want to do, then it's pretty easy. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.